Is the crazy hot selling market of 2023 already starting? If you follow a lot of realtors on Instagram, you might be convinced that it has. We're not so sure. I'm Tony with Clarkson Santoro, and this is our weekly real estate update for February 3rd. In this series, we update you on the latest trends that are occurring in our real estate market here in San Ramon. Using our more than 50 combined years of experience helping clients buy and sell homes, we explain what those trends mean for you as a homeowner or as someone who is looking for a house that you will love to call home. The current inventory is 17 homes, down from 19 last week. The average asking price of those homes was $2,510,000, which is up from last week's average of $2,232,000. 6 homes asking an average of $1,536,000 went pending this week. That is more pending homes than last week's number of 4, with a lower average asking price from last week's $1,730,000. A total of 3 homes sold this week, with an average sales price of $1,445,000. That average price was down from last week's average price of $1,615,000, and the total number of sold homes was higher than last week's 1. So now that we know how the market performed this past week, we can look at the broader trends that give us the insight into the health of the market and help us understand where it might be heading. Before we do that, if you find this information helpful, you should subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Instagram so you won't miss the next update. You can also share this with a friend so they can be more informed on their local market as well. Now on to the market indicators. Inventory dropped again this week. We are down to only 17 active homes on the market, and the continued lack of inventory accomplishes 2 things. One thing is that it keeps property values pretty level because of the grade school economic principle of supply and demand. The other thing that it is accomplishing right now is making the homes that are really priced well and completely renovated stand out and sell quickly, even more so than in a hot seller's market with a lot of inventory. Last week, the inventory indicator score dropped to 78. This week, we are bringing it back up to 80. The market turnover rate jumped above 100% temporarily this week before settling in at about 88%. What that really means is there was a spike in pending sales early in the week, but then there was enough new inventory later in the week to offset the effect of those early week pending sales. Either way, 88% is still very close to a neutral market, and that trend line is moving upwards towards a more seller-friendly numbers. The turnover is down at 37 last week. This week it'll jump up to 43. The difference in the sales price compared to the asking price has remained around 3.5% under the asking for the last few weeks. This is a lagging indicator that gives us a clear picture of what was happening about 30 days ago. With the increase in the market turnover in the past couple of weeks, we expect to see that number get closer to being even with asking price. Historically, San Ramon homes tend to sell an average of 2% plus or minus the asking price. Last week, the turnover indicator was scored at 33, and we will keep it there this week. The 30-day average sales price dropped a little this week, but this doesn't necessarily mean that values are starting to drop. If you looked at pending sales versus active homes, you'll see that the current majority of pending sales are in the 1.2 to 1.7 range, and that they went pending with an average on market time of less than a month. Now looking at the active homes, the large majority of those are in the 1.8 and higher range, and most of those have already been on the market for 30 days or more. All that to say, while the average sales price is down, what that really points to is that homes in the lower price range are selling, and the larger homes in nicer neighborhoods that cost more take longer to sell. This week we dropped the score down to 62. Oh, that was last week, and this week we are going to drop it a little more to 58. This score is difficult because the lower price range does look like it's actually back to a seller's market, but the higher price range is leaning more towards the buyer's favor. The Invesco QQQ had a significant and steady growth in the month of January. That is a good thing for the health of the market. As money in Silicon Valley grows, that gives our home buyers more confidence and desire in upsizing to larger homes here in San Ramon. The one thing still holding those buyers back is the uncertainty around job stability in the tech sector. Last week we gave this indicator a score of 35. This week we will move it a little more to 37. And finally, interest rates continued their slow downward trend this week. They dropped another 4 basis points, and the national average for a 30-year fixed mortgage is now at 6.09%. If it gets below 6%, I think we will see a surge in buyer confidence, and if we get closer to a stable 5%, then I think we can kiss our interest rate concerns goodbye. It will likely never be as low as we saw it last year, but if we can operate at around 5%, that seems to be a number that most consumers are okay with. Last week, the interest rate indicator moved up to 38, and it climbs again just slightly to 39 this week. Overall, I think this market is just weird. The reactionary indicators are pointing to a buyer's market, but the predictive ones look like they are starting to trend towards a seller's market. At this point, it is starting to feel like we might find ourselves in a split market for a while. Homes in the sub 1.6 million range will likely experience a strong seller's market, but homes in the 2 million plus range might sit in a buyer's market for some time now. So, is the hot seller's market of 2023 already here? Kind of. In some price ranges, but not really. Look, we don't want to fall into the trap of over-dramatizing the most recent statistics. And right now, it seems too uncertain to call it hot for this year like some people are reaching for. We give the overall market score a 49 this week. I hope this weekly summary and commentary helped you understand how our market is affecting your options. Let me know in the comments down below, or contact us directly if you have specific questions about how you can navigate this market to sell or buy a home. And if you find this information helpful, remember to share it with a friend and hit the like button and subscribe so you'll always be up to date on the latest real estate news here in San Ramon. Have a safe weekend, and we'll see you next week with a new update.